What is going on? I got no hat today. I got just my bald spots. Just living large with my forehead. With my all head. The whole thing. It's just attached to my body, and there's really not a lot I can do about it. That's helpful, I should say. What's up, Brian? How's it going? I'll be honest. It's another really lax show today. I've been having trouble sleeping. And, I slept on and off for a handful of hours last night. And, woke up at about 5 a.m. and have been kicking since. I was not really feeling super hot this morning, so I did just kind of lounge around. Man, before I forget, if you want to help the channel grow, help me, get this whole thing together better. The best way to help me do that is this thing up here, wilddinosaur.com. I got all kinds of stuff there. You can find links to my music videos. And I have an online store where you can get t-shirts, sweatshirts, sweaters, tote bags, stickers. What else do we have there? Socks. There's some stuff there. So, it's really one of the best ways to help this channel financially. The other thing that's helpful is liking and subscribing. Playing a part in the chat is great, and also comments on the videos as well too. All of that stuff is super helpful. Gets me out there. Excuse me. Just not 100% today. Sorry, guys. Again, I don't even have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about except for my Tank Girl I get reboot idea, I guess. I don't know. I just wanted to talk about Tank Girl because I think that's a property that's well, there was a movie in what year was that? I think it was like 94, 92. Actually it was 95. I'm betting it was 95. Let's see. Yep, 1995. And we'll talk about all of that in the second half, but there's some stuff that happened. Well, I guess the first thing that's like funny to me is, I guess, Rage Against the Machine played a show the other day, or within the last week or so. And they had made some statements about abort the Supreme Court, I think, something like that. And people are up in arms about it. They're like, Rage Against the Machine should just stick to music and stay out of politics. And it's like, guys, have you ever listened to one of their songs or records? I mean, they have a record called Evil Empire. They do a version of Fuck the Police. I mean, this is nothing. This was the whole thing with this band. It's just so funny to see people going off about that, because I mean, like, they've always been weird. Not weird, but I always saw them a little anarchist. I know they're not, but especially after the MTV Movie Awards. One of the awards shows, it was in the late 90s, early 2000s, they like won an award, or they were up for an award, and the drummer like climbed. It was either the drummer or the bass player. I think it was the drummer climbed up the back of the set and was just like rocking out, literally, and the security had to come get him down. It was great. Sorry, I missed out on the chat. Ryan says spring of '95 comic was around beforehand. Yeah. I think the artists. Forgive me, I don't remember it. I have a couple of Tank Girl comics. They're newer ones though. Martin and Parson. These are the two that I have. I read them relatively recently, within the last year or so. This one I thought was kind of interesting because it introduced us to, like another Tank Girl essentially. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool, and I guess I didn't realize that there was a bit of a crew aside from. I mean, I'd seen some of the comics. I didn't read them. I was still a little young for some of those comics when they were out, and I remember seeing the movie, and I've watched the movie a couple of times recently, and I like the movie. I think it's silly. It's not very good. I don't think a lot of people should. I mean, my opinion on bad movies is, you know what? If you got time and you want to, spend your time watching bad movies, go for it. There's some really good bad movies out there. I know there's a lot of people that don't want to waste their time with that kind of stuff anymore. And the older I get, I go back and forth with the content I like to ingest. And Tank Girl, I find entertaining. But I do think it's, prime for reboot, remake, reboot, not a remake. And I mean, the comics have continued, so there's stuff to tell. Not to say they have to go off like pure source material, because I don't think a good movie is based on source material is necessarily good because it used the source material. It's a good movie because there's a lot of moving parts. But the other thing I wanted to talk about before the commercial break and before my old Tank Girl rant was, I guess there was a trailer that came out today for Rob Zombie's The Munsters reboot. I believe it's the series. The trailer looks garbage. It looks like a fan-made film, or like a really bad porn or something like that. It does not doesn't look that good. It really does look like it was shot mostly in like someone's garage. Man, I feel like I'm constantly justifying this, but yeah, it does look like it was shot on VHS. Thanks, Ryan. It also feels like it's not. What is that? Rob Zombie's wife, I think, plays the wife in it, and I've seen her do some acting, and she's never been like crazy standout actress for me, but this particularly looks bad. I don't know. There was a ton of money that was sunk into this too. Let's see, Rob Zombie budget. It's a film, not a show. Yeah, I don't see a budget yet, but I heard it was something like pretty big. and it just looks like it was shot in someone's garage. That she wouldn't get any work at all if Rob Zombie dropped out of film. Yeah, I agree. I don't think she would be getting the work at all. I mean, the only things I know off the top of my head she's been in is just Rob Zombie movies, like House of a Thousand Corpses and what's the other shit he's done. I'm not a big fan of his movies. I don't typically like the genre that he you've seen everything he's ever made. Yeah, well, do you like his stuff? I'm just curious. I know I've had some friends that really loved his stuff. I haven't found anything that connects really. Okay, no. Yeah, I didn't think so. he man, I would listen to White Zombie, or I would even listen to his little brother's band, Powerman 5000. I'd listen to Powerman 5000 before I sat through one of his movies. Yeah, I have never connected with it. I don't like his brand of horror necessarily, and it's not him specifically. It's just like he goes for like gore horror, and I just like never really got into that so much. I remember the same friend who was trying to get me to watch. It wasn't House of a Thousand Corpses. It was one of his other films. I don't quite remember. He was also trying to get me to watch. What's that? Man, blowing it already. My mind's gone. My mind's gone from not sleeping. Ishi the Killer. He's getting me to watch Ishi the Killer, and I watched the first like 20 minutes of that movie and I was out. I believe that guy's got potential. Hasn't really lived up to it. Yeah, I think he does too. I don't want to say anyone's really a bad director. There's only really. I think he's like he's kind of like a gore version of, not Gore the God Butcher, but like a gory version of like a Tim Burton, which is weird to say. I think he could live up to that potential. And I actually, out of all of the things that I've heard that he was doing, this seemed like the thing that was going to be the most attainable, I guess, for me. And it just doesn't look good. I might watch a little bit of it. There was a was it a Munsters reboot a handful of years ago with Eddie Izzard? I think it was called like Mockingbird Lane. Was that? That was really good. I liked that. I remember watching that and enjoying that, but this just doesn't look good at all. Let's see. I'm still trying to remember the movie that my buddy was trying to get me into. I think it was maybe Devil's Rejects, actually. Yeah, I think it was Devil's Rejects. And didn't he do I thought he did Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. Didn't he? I thought he'd done that. Anyways, ooh, Ryan, Issue the Killer's in my top 10 easily. You gotta really like that stuff, though. Japanese splatter. Rob Zombie and I both love B-grade 70s stuff. I watch this stuff to see what he pulls from that Halloween remake. Yeah. Issue was just it wasn't for me. I like pulp stuff, but I like um I don't know. I don't know. I guess I've just never been super big on the gore element. I think it can be done well for sure. Like I was talking about Willy's Wonderland the other day. Have you seen that, Ryan? Nick Cage movie, Willy's Wonderland. It's relatively new. It's in his like new batch of stuff. Mean Spirited Bloodbath. Um, yeah, it's in the newer Nick Cage uh piles of movies that he's done in the last like handful of years. Um, it was really fun. You hated that one. Hey, fair enough. I thought it was. I actually really liked that one. It was right up my alley. Just like no explanation for like him at all in that movie. Like he's just there. Um. Yeah. So Rob Zombie's doing the Munsters, and it looks like a low budge porn. They might as well with the. I'm sure there's some big backers behind it. I think who did I see was putting it out? Was it Paramount? Produced by Rob Zombie. Prequel. Da, 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 da. Oh, it's a prequel to the '60s show. Um, Produced by Universal. Okay. Yeah, I mean, shit. He might have. Nick Cage. Yeah, Nick Cage is a great actor. I actually think he's capable of quite a lot, and I think due to life circumstances, has put himself in a position that he's been in a lot of like shit stuff or things that don't work for a lot of people. Um, Look, I'm willing to admit the Munsters might be his masterpiece. I'll see it. I'm fond of the source material. I'll watch it too. But I do wonder if at this point, if if he just pitched the movie as like an actual like low budget porn, and just put it out through like Vivid Entertainment or something like that. Uh, that would have been really funny. But yeah, I don't know if he'd ever do that, but I mean, that's what Danzig does. Does he do that? Does he direct low budget porn? I'd never heard that before. If he does, that's kind of amazing, actually. Softcore. All of the oh, the worst kind. And I bet he puts Mother as the theme song for all of them too. God. Danzig's a weird dude. I have a little bit of respect in some places, but like for the most part, I just kind of I don't know. Man, Glenn Danzig, what a human being. Maybe he should have directed the Munsters. It's a low budget porn. um, I mean, speaking of another bad director that kind of looks like Danzig, Tommy Wiseau. He doesn't really look like Danzig. Man. What was it? Is there rumors of like Tommy Wiseau as Doctor Doom? Let's fucking go with that one. Is it a Munsters reboot or a honing your porn director skill? Well, I guess it would be a Munsters reboot, but if it's softcore porn, it can double as both, you know? um, yeah, I guess if Danzig's doing like a reboot of something, shit, what would he do? Let's just say Rob Zombie's got the Munsters covered. And Um, well, what would Danzig direct? Would he do like Adam's Family? Adam's Family Values? Softcore porn? uh, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't notice that was Mark that said that. Hi, Mark. How you doing today? Um, I'm just kind of chit chatting. I got a little bit of stuff to talk about. I'm going to talk about Tank Girl after the commercial break, which, oh man, you know what? Doing these live streams is really fun. And I, I'm still, I'm still in the mindset of sleepy after work. Well, that'll do it. That'll do it. Um, you covering a World Cup? Those were the days. Not really. Um, I do miss our old job a little bit. Um, I missed it for the people and some of the weird shit I was able to do there. But yeah, I haven't really talked to anybody from there other than Mark uh, joining the chats. But man, I'm all over the place. I'm also sleepy. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, as I mentioned. But yeah, after the commercial break, I'll do and some ideas. It's not fully fleshed out, but what could be done with Tank Girl. Now you work at a casino now as surveillance agent. Ooh, badass. That's cool. Good for you. I'm doing this now, so hey. um, man. So, anyways, the Munsters is coming out, and it looks like garbage. It could be good though, and you know, Ryan said earlier that it might be his masterpiece. I I sat here and you know said this looks like shit, low budget porn, all that kind of stuff. But really, trailers are oftentimes there wasn't a lot of editing issues with the trailer for me, but a lot of times third parties are editing movie trailers. It's not the in-house studio usually, so it could be good. And trailers often have unfinished things going on. I mean, there was that She-Hulk trailer that came out about a month ago, maybe, I don't remember, a little more. And people were really not happy with the CG for She-Hulk. Oh man. It's like a giant seahorse that just like turns into the Hulk. That'd be awesome. Spits out, it's like, never mind. If you need no seahorse biology, that was going to be a gross comment. Anyways, the She-Hulk CG didn't look that great when they put the trailer out, but they've since re-rendered the trailer, and so it looks a little smoother. I don't have a lot of problems with it, but I know people were complaining. And it does look smoother. I've seen it since, and it does look a little better. But I mean, trailers don't always give you the exact tone. I mean, Thor was another one. I think the marketing for Thor was a little bit different than the actual tone of the movie. It is super jokey, and I think that's one of my big complaints with the movie in general. It's just like, this character was funny in the last movie, so every line he says in this movie has to be a joke. But there's also real serious tones going on. Like Gore, the God Butcher's storyline is super serious, and and heavy, and same with Jane too. And yeah, I don't think there was much of that in the trailer of like showing the seriousness of the movie. And I mean, ultimately, I don't think those tones were balanced very well. Even though I know Taika Waititi can do that. I mean, Jojo Rabbit is a movie about a kid in Nazi Germany, whose imaginary friend is Hitler. That's that's some imagination and humor balanced with the reality of World War II. Rob Zombie abstaining from sex, violence, and profanity might make for a better film. Yeah, it might. um, I do think, from what I've seen, another thing that might make his movies better is not putting his wife in them. I mean, I haven't seen her in a lot of stuff other than just Rob Zombie films, and she wasn't good in any of them. Not to say she can't be. She might have honed some skills. Um, and I especially the Munsters. I think the tone is um, good for like a bit of quirky. The low budge B side element. I think that acting can work when you're going for something like that, where it looks like it's or the whole project feels cult like. Um, I don't mean like being in a cult. I just mean like cult films, B movies, and such. Um, Dang, it is 5:30 already. I'm gonna do a quick commercial break, and then I'm gonna come back and talk about my idea for Tank Girl. And I hope you guys get involved with me here, because I'm gonna need your help on some stuff, um, so that interactivity on this show. I'm really hoping for some feedback on some stuff. So we'll come back in just about a minute and a half, and we'll chat about that. I hate Mondays.
I'm Richard from Richard's Pet Wedding Facilities, and I give these stickers away at every pet wedding. The kids love them too. This bag from, what's his name? Wild Dinosaur? Weren't they all wild? What an oxymoron. Anyways, I like to put my special things in this bag. Plus, I'm pretty sure this is my spirit animal.
Life gave me lemons, so I sold them for this sweet baseball tee. Don't forget to check out wilddinosaur.com for those sweet baseball tees. I have a bunch of them. I love them. They're great. And the tote bags are really nice too. Really good quality, really good material. It's like a canvas on the inside and like a lighter on the outside for the print. It's nice. So I didn't do a bunch of graphics today. I have two images that I'll use for this. But I was thinking about Tank Girl because I know, or I heard, it must have been over a year ago now, I had heard Margot Robbie, who is Harley Quinn in the DC EU, Her production company bought the rights, as far as I understand, to do Tank Girl, and I think good it's a good person to have those rights, because I think maybe in her hands, she could do something really fun and cool. I do, however, think that I wouldn't necessarily want Margot Robbie to play Tank Girl, and that's just purely not. It has nothing to do with. I don't think she could do it. I mean, Harley Quinn is kind of Tank Girl in some ways, and we already have her playing a character kind of like that. And we're also gonna get her in. Oh, she's gonna be the new Jack Sparrow in the whatever pirate movies. I don't know if it's a reboot or if it's going to be sequel to the other movies, but she's essentially going to be taking over the Jack Sparrow role, the Johnny Depp role. I mean, she's not playing I'm female Captain Jack Sparrow, but she's going to be, a similar type of character for us to follow. She's got the Barbie movie, which I know is different. It's Barbie, but she's got things that she's going to be doing, and she's Australian too. And Tank Girl is Australian. So I was thinking about this. I think there's a lot of good. I think this is maybe the right moment for Tank Girl, and I think because of where we are in society right now. I mean, I've talked about it a little bit in the United States. There's a political war on women right now, and I think, having more powerful, strong female characters in media is definitely a good thing. And Tank Girl is a quirky character, and that movie that they did in '95, I find joy in that movie. It's not a movie I watch every night or anything like that, but I don't say no when it's on or when I see it, and again, that was 1995. We are in 2022. That was what, 27 years ago? Jesus. And I I don't know. I think it's time. So when I was thinking about, the first and foremost, the casting, there is another, there's another actress, and I think she is also Australian. Yeah. And I saw her in, actually, the graphic is the movie that I really picked up on this, but where is it? Where's my graphic? Why is it gone? Are either one of them there? Oh no, my graphic's gone. I can fix this. Because I do want you guys to see my sources. So she's whoops. Sorry. Technical issues. Today's graphics. I see. I put the graphics in and then I moved them. I think it was this one. Yeah, here we go. Samara Weaving. She's Australian. She's actually the niece of Hugo Weaving, We all know Mr. Smith from The Matrix, Elrod from the Lord of the Rings, the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings series. Oh man, is he in Tu Wong Fu? Thanks for everything. Yeah, I mean, we all know Hugo Weaving. This is his niece, Samara Weaving, and she's an up and coming actress. She's been in a bunch of stuff, but the film that this screen grabs from is Guns Akimbo with Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter himself, and she is a badass and really funny in it in Guns Akimbo. And after seeing that, I was like, yeah, man, she'd be a really good tank girl, I think. Shave the side of her head and give her the right gear, an army helmet and like some big guns. So I think she'd be a good pick, but also I understand how sometimes in casting, if Margot Robbie has the rights to this, I can see studios wanting to have her in the role. And the nice thing about Tank Girl is that there's actually more characters. And there's more characters than if you just seen the movies, you'd know that she's got a crew of like mutant kangaroo dudes. She's even dating one. What's his name? Bogo, I think. And yeah, Tank Girl has a boyfriend who's a half mutant kangaroo. And I think she'd be a really good. I think she'd be a really good choice to lead it. But like I was saying, if they want Margot Robbie to play the role, which I'm not opposed to, but I do think that maybe a little overexposure in for some characters with her, and there's a lot of other super talented women that could carry a movie as well, and I think Samara Weaving might be one of those. The other option too is in some of the comics. I have these ones right here, these two. In this one, there's another Tank Girl, so there's two. So if they did something like that, where you bring in a second Tank Girl who, might originally be against Tank Girl and then teams up with her or something. I don't know. I'm not necessarily pitching that idea, but there is also Jet Girl, which you get in the first movie, actually played by Naomi Harris, not Naomi Harris. Naomi Watts. I'm sorry, Naomi Watts. Two different people completely. Oh, sorry, my leg's stuck. Yeah, Naomi Watts plays Jet Girl in the original one, and she's kind of a nerd. Get rid of this for now. I'm gonna put this. I've got to reload my second graphic that I had. Oh, what's the name of that file actually? Too many things are going on. You know when you like do something and you accidentally like open Adobe? You're like, nah, I didn't mean to do that. Ah, dang it. There we go. So there's other roles to fill, and I think here we go. This girl's name is Emma McKay, and sorry, McKee, Emma McKee, and she's on a popular Netflix series called Sex Education that I actually randomly just started watching one day. It wasn't even like the kind of show I'm usually into. Started watching it, and she was a standout for sure. And I think maybe she would be a good like jet girl. There's also Sub Girl who has this. I mean, look, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Tank Girl drives around in a tank and fucks shit up. She's punk rock. She's a bounty hunter, and she accept nothing less than Vivian Lyra Blair as Tank Girl. Let's fucking go. I'm into that too. Let's go. I mean, if it's shot in the next couple of years, I think there's a place for her, for sure. In the first movie, they're trying to in the '95 Linda Perry movie. Sorry, Lori Petty. They're trying to save a little girl, and I mean, I don't know. Not to say that they have to do the like save the little girl thing over and over again, but I mean, let's throw Vivian Lyra Blair and everything at this point. Tank Girl is, punk rock and has this badass group of girls with her. And I mean, Tank Girl has a tank, Jet Girl has a jet, Sub Girl has, you guessed it, a submarine. And then so there's like a couple of roles to fill here if you wanted to go that route, with like having a cool little team of like Jet Girl, Tank Girl, Sub Girl. One of these two actresses. Oops. I'm gonna bring these both back so we can see them. Sorry for covering the chat. Get rid of these in a minute, but Samara Weaving is my pick for Tank Girl, and I would say Emma McKee is probably my pick for Jet Girl. If we went that route in the story, bringing more of these girls together. But what I wanted to see, or what I wanted opinions on is, I mean, there's a whole group of these mutant kangaroos that she befriends, and they start doing, like, I guess you'd call them missions together. So another checkpoint. I just want to go off the checklist real quick. Another reason why I think Tank Girl is a great movie to make right now is, I mean, not only do you have an opportunity for more women in lead action roles, like a bunch of them, but it's a post-apocalyptic world, post-apocalyptic Australia, particularly. So you could throw in some stuff about climate change, and a lot of the times she is working against, oftentimes starting with or begrudgingly helping some corporation or government entity, and then completely backtracking on her willingness to help those entities. So you could do a corporate greed, a government greed, or there's a lot of big plot points you can go down that I think are super relevant these days, and you can make it a really awesome movie. I mean, there's the idea of making it a tiny bit Mad Max in its like visual style, and doing some cool desert action sequences with I mean, not like a ton of she's a tank, you know. She's a tank, and you got Jet Girl, so you could do some cool action sequences out in the middle of the desert with, you know, these, say that corporations are coming after her or something, and you do a whole let's get George Miller to direct this movie. I mean, he's actually filming Furiosa now. Finally, they are actually filming that movie right now, which is good. But and the last point that I have on why I think this movie could work now is the first movie really leaned into like the soundtrack. I think Courtney Love was like a music supervisor on that, and I have my opinions on Courtney Love as, you know, a musician, and I don't really like her music very much, but I think she did she added the night that like there's a lot of female punk and like alt music in that first movie, and there's a ton of awesome bands now. I mean, if you want to just kind of throw an easy one out there, like Pussy Riot would be, you know, throw a track or two of Pussy Riot in there. But I mean, there's all these like really cool Army Me is the shit. Yeah, I forgot that Bjork's on that one too. And I mean, look, this new version could have a bunch of guitar solos. There's a bunch of badass female guitar players, women guitar players, that just destroy. A band that I've been really into, and I'm gonna try to get this name right. Is it Autoboke Beaver? A Toboke Beaver, I think, is the name. They're 4-piece Japanese punk band. They're awesome. And, yeah, they're a band I've been digging quite a bit. And I mean, you can throw in some really great bands. I think the soundtrack for an updated Tank Girl would be super awesome. Those are just two bands off the top of my head I could think of to throw in there. And I mean, like, sure, for the fans of the original one, maybe throw a whole song in there. I don't know. I don't necessarily need more Courtney Love music, but I mean, there's room for it. I guess the questions I have for you guys are, first of all, who do you think should direct something like this? I was kind of joking about George Miller, but it kind of makes a little bit of sense too at the same time. Do you guys have any thoughts on directing? Who would direct Tank Girl Reboot? And also, who would play some of the mutant kangaroos? Was it Ice-T? Yeah, Ice-T was in the original one. He was one of the kangaroos. Mutant kangaroos. Oh, hey, sorry, I just realized you're here, Derpy. I want to apologize the other day for like kind of shooing you off when you were making comments about Eddie. I didn't mean to rain on your parade at all. I guess I'm still a little bit structured in my head, and what I'm not used to is live streaming offers me just more like free reign to do things. And so when I was still trying to, nothing scripted, but in my head I need a path to get from one thought to another. So I didn't mean to like shoo you off the other day. I apologize for that. So I'm glad you're back. Thanks for coming back. I do appreciate it. And I do appreciate do appreciate your input as well. And just for the record, Eddie is the fucking man. Justice for Eddie. That's all I gotta say. Justice for Eddie. So who you got for Tank Girl reboot director? I am thinking a George Miller might be fun, but there's so many good directors out there now. There's so many good ones. And who do you think would play some? Who do you think would be some good mutant kangaroo actors? Let's see if I can think about this. This is where I needed you guys' help. There's I forget how many of them. Let's just say there's 6 of them we're gonna use because there's a whole crew of them. I mean, I hate to say this only because he's in so much stuff, but Idris Elba is just great, and he would be. I forget the name of. There was one in at least the 95 Tank Girl movie, who was kind of the more chill. I would maybe consider him one of the leaders. I know they were like a democratic group, but why no real kangaroos? Well, we could. I mean, look. I think the difficulty with real kangaroos is they're constantly trying to fight on set, and you just don't get any work done when kangaroos are constantly throwing punches, especially your child actors. The Vivian Lyra Blair's on. I mean, she would probably kick the shit out of a kangaroo, but I don't want to risk it. It's an insurance issue, I think. There is always the thought of doing the like CG stuff. I do like practical if you can get some good practical makeup in there. The union's got kangaroos. Hey, the court's got kangaroos. I'm still thinking about that director. Who would be a good director for it? I really don't know. Why am I just instantly drew a blank on a bunch of names. What? I don't even remember what movie I was thinking about that I was gonna say, oh, maybe that director. I do think George Miller would be at least a good action director for something like that. But George Miller's got, Mad Max, and I mean he's getting up there too. I don't know how many more movies he wants to go film out in the desert. It takes a lot out of you when you're doing that kind of thing. So. If not George Miller, then who? And do we shoot it on the volume like The Mandalorian? No, we go shoot this in the Australian outback. I'm sure there's some good studios in Australia to shoot at. Christopher Nolan. I'm gonna say. Not my pick. Not my director. I think he would make a good film, but he would make it super pretentious. Oh god, okay. Here is the hot ticket director, I think. Taika Waititi could do a good job because the character needs to be funny, and she needs to be able to like kind of let loose at times. And I do think his sensibilities, his comic sensibilities might work. Particularly after watching Thor, he can direct Taco Bell commercials for all I care. I mean, Shit. Let's get some of those Inception style shots. Like the camera rotates and it's just nachos. Nacho Supreme. Taika Waititi could do a good job, and I think after Thor, Love and Thunder, I don't hate that movie as much as it came off in my non-spoiler review. I do like that movie. I do think it does some really interesting things going forward with the MCU. And I liked a lot of the characters in it. But I do think that it suffers from the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 issue from me. Again, where one person was funny in the previous movie, so now they have to be funny through the whole thing. And it's just a little too much. But Thor was pretty good. But it was too much at times. The comedy didn't hit very well. And I do think that maybe not under the Disney banner, Taika Waititi might do I would love to see him do a raunchy thing. Or actually, James Gunn. That's actually my pick for Tank Girl. Somebody like a James Gunn. Who, especially after watching Peacemaker, I think he's definitely got the sensibility. Mel Gibson, yeah, right. I mean, he's a great director. Actually, he might do a really good job. But also, I don't want to listen to him talk about anything. It'd be hard to watch those director interviews or cast and crew interviews. I mean, he's a solid director, but yeah. Now, the more that I think about it, I think James Gunn might work for me the best. So I'm sticking with James Gunn. That's my pick. I still don't have a casting for my kangaroos, though. My mutant kangaroos. Maybe some of the older, like, Stranger Things cast. Billy. He seems very serious. I forget his name. Something Montgomery, I believe. He was the Red Power Ranger in Power Rangers Reboot, which, you know what? I actually like that movie. It's pretty good. And you're throwing out terrible directors to fuck me up. Good. Let's go. Who else you got? John Waters. No, he's not a bad director. His movies. Oh man, I remember watching Pink Flamingos in high school. John Waters, I do think would work though. I just don't really know his action sensibilities, and I do think Tank Girl needs a little bit of. I think John Waters would do a really good job with half of the movie, and maybe not so good with like the other half of the like, it being a larger budget movie or more of a mainstream movie than some of the stuff that he's done in the past. Yeah, John Waters is an interesting choice. Yeah, he has no action sensibilities. I mean, maybe you have a second unit director that just handles all the action. Yeah, and I think the comedy aspect of it would work well. I think that's what he would bring to the table with that one. Yeah, that's why I think I'm choosing somebody like a Taika Waititi or James Gunn, is because they have that like sensibility, but they've also done like modern action as well. Yeah, Tank Girl definitely. You gotta blow shit up. She's got a tank. There's a jet. There's a submarine potentially. I mean, like, you could do some crazy stuff. So I don't know. Well, that is that's my Tank Girl talk. Aside from casting my mutants, Villeneuve would be cool actually. You know what? That's talk about like taking your bottom shelf weed and putting it on the top shelf. He's got a beautiful style, and I think he would make the movie look really good. I don't know if I can pinpoint his comedy. I still think you need to have the comedy aspect of it. It's got to be blended because she's a shit talker. She's kind of like Deadpool a little bit. She just doesn't necessarily break the fourth wall so much, but she's always just shit talking. And let's see. Well, I guess Tim Miller, who did the first Deadpool, might be an interesting choice too. Just thinking about it, there's a lot of interesting directors out there. It's nice that we have as many popular directors as there are. So we got so many formats: TV, streaming. I mean, look at my beautiful work here on YouTube. Look at this shot. Look at that bald head. I could tighten my shot actually, but I'm not going to because I'm probably going to take off here in a minute. I'm going to leave you guys thinking about my Tank Girl reboot idea. What do you got? I mean, what do you got? What do you got? Who do you think would be a good Tank Girl? Who'd be a good director? Would you want to see the other girls pop up? Jet Girl, Sub Girl. Who you got for my mutant kangaroos? I mean, there's a lot of options here for a movie that I think has a lot of potential for a modern day reboot. And I mean, again, we're still in the comic book movie age, so it's got that going for it too. If this was a pitch, this would have been a little bit more refined. I would have had a PowerPoint presentation for you. But sometimes I just come up with these ideas about what might be an interesting movie and then throw it out there for you guys, see what you think. But yeah, I guess that's it, guys. I guess I'm gonna take off. What if Tank Girl and Jet Girl start out together and learn that they're both part of the vehicle Voltron? Yeah, dude, let's go. Oh, yeah. Oh, and because you said that, we're definitely hiring some like Japanese or Korean director for this. That would be cool. I'm into that. Let's build a post-apocalyptic Voltron with Tank Girl and Jet Girl and all that, all those characters, mutant kangaroos. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna take off. It was nice seeing y'all today. Derpy, I'm glad you're back. I'm sorry again. I'm sorry. Please don't leave me. Ryan, it was good to see you. I might talk to you later. Mark, hope you're having a good night and good time at the casino. Win big for me. Holy shit. One of my cats has been in here the whole time and I had no idea. Scared the shit out of me. All right, guys. Oh yeah, donate to Planned Parenthood. I have the link in the description. Super important. So yeah, do that, and I will see you guys tomorrow.